The wind howled outside the diner on the edge of town, but inside, the only thing colder than the draft was the silence that fell after the old man spoke. "You will die tomorrow," he said calmly, wiping the rim of his coffee mug. Across from him sat Donovan Royce, a tech millionaire with a smirk as sharp as his designer suit. He laughed, loud and full of arrogance. "Old man, I've got a cardiologist on speed dial, 3 personal trainers, and a chef who measures my salt intake by the milligram. I'm not dying anytime soon." The old man didn't blink. "You think death always asks permission?" And with that, he stood up and walked into the rain. Donovan was in town to scout rural land for a luxury getaway resort, a wellness retreat for billionaires looking to reconnect with nature. But to the locals, he was just another city man trying to buy up their land and pave over their roots. The old man he had mocked in the diner was known as Brother Elijah. Some called him a prophet, others a lunatic. He walked with a wooden cane, lived in a small chapel he'd rebuilt himself, and offered food to the poor without ever asking for thanks. That night, as Donovan lay in his plush hotel bed, the wind began to wail like a mourning mother. Sleep didn't come easily. And when it did, it was broken by a vivid, terrifying dream, of a dark room, a mirror that wouldn't reflect him, and a clock stuck at 11:59 p.m. The next day, Donovan's phone rang before dawn. His private jet had crashed during maintenance testing. A freak accident. He was supposed to be on it. Later that morning, while walking through the nearby woods with his assistant, he slipped on wet leaves and tumbled down an embankment. A sharp branch narrowly missed, impaling his chest. By noon, he started sweating uncontrollably, shaking, and coughing. Paranoia clung to him like a second skin. By sunset, he was knocking on the chapel door with trembling hands. Brother Elijah opened it slowly. He said nothing, just stepped aside. Donovan entered, looking like a man who had been running from death and had finally run out of road. "I need help," he whispered. I think you were right." Brother Elijah made him sit. He gave him water, then soup, and finally a quiet place to rest. Donovan broke down. Not from fear, but from the weight of something deeper, emptiness. "I've built empires," he confessed. "But I don't even know what peace feels like anymore. I spent my whole life trying to outrun the silence inside me." Brother Elijah nodded, his voice gentle. "Most men don't fear death. They fear dying without ever having truly lived." That night, Donovan didn't dream of death. He dreamt of his childhood, his mother's lullaby, his father's laugh, a day spent fishing before wealth had stolen his wonder. The next morning, Donovan asked to stay. He canceled meetings, postponed deals. Over the next week, he worked beside Elijah, feeding the homeless, helping rebuild a neighbor's broken roof, fixing old church benches. At first, people whispered. Then they watched. Then they joined. Something began to change, not just in Donovan, but in the whole town. Kindness spread like wildfire. The diner he once mocked and reopened with free meals every Thursday. A scholarship fund was started in his late father's name. And Brother Elijah? He never asked for praise. One afternoon, Donovan handed him a sealed envelope. "For whatever the town needs. No strings." Elijah smiled. "The gift isn't the money. It's the man who gave it." Months passed. Donovan never returned to his old life. He didn't need to. He had finally found what he didn't know he was searching for, purpose. And every now and then, when people asked about the strange warning that changed his life, Donovan would chuckle and say, "I didn't die the next day. But my old self did, and thank God for that." This is a story about the kind of death that saves you. The kind where ego is buried and kindness is born. Because sometimes, a man has to be told he's dying to finally start living.